becoming top stars.
Welcome to the debut episode of Meet the Agent podcast, Behind the Block. Today we're going beyond the cameras to meet one of the rock stars of real estate, a top agent helping shape Australia's #1 show. I'm Wendy Clare from Jeuje Interiors. Now meet Aaron Hill from Ray White Sunbury, the agent for Emma and Ben from House 1 as he preps for the block auctions.
Need a house on the block, auction coming up. First baby boy, and now there's 3 of them. Emma and Ben, living their dreams, you know what I mean. Beyond
No drama, no show.
Yeah, this coming weekend must be one of the biggest weekends of the year for you.
It's a big weekend.
extra-
It's a bit of a quiet weekend. There's only one auction, but it's a big auction, as you probably know. So a little bit of anxiety, of course, coming up to an auction like the block every year that we've done this for. So
bet.
a lot of nerves, and hopefully we can get a sale on Saturday or Sunday on TV.
What do you like doing when you're not doing real estate?
Yeah, look, I suppose many sport is great for me. I love my sports, and I've got 3 boys under 13, so always
Wow.
doing sports on a Saturday, Sunday with them. So always very sporty over the weekends, and like footy, cricket, basketball, tennis, whatever you say. When you say sport, it doesn't matter what it is. I love it. So that's a bit
And
about me.
Your kids are doing all of those sports?
Yeah, I've got 3 boys all playing in different footy sides, all playing in different basketball sides. And it's a bit of fun. And every Saturday, Sunday, there's always something going on in my
Fantastic.
life. I wasn't going to do the block this year, actually, to be honest, and I said no to it. And I was driving
Really?
home one night, and my kids rang me up that I met Ben and Emma at the block, and I said I wasn't doing it, and they said they were a little bit upset. So I rang them back that same night and said, guys, I'm gonna do the block. So that's the reason I'm doing it this year, because of the kids.
Wow, because they said you should do it. Oh,
Yes, they watching every year, and they've been involved. You know, with Oz and Omar the first year we did it, and then the year after with Steph and Jan, and this year again they're in every year we do the video on Domain, and they've been in the video every year, so they sort of like it. Bit of
wow.
fun
So
for them.
they've grown up with it, really, I suppose.
Well, my 8-year-old has just been doing since she was 3 or 4 years old, so it was always been watching the TV show, and they still love it.
Wow. So if there's a music style that most resembles your vibe, who would it be? You a bit of a Sinatra
tough.
man or a bit of a Ed
If you're
Sheeran?
talking about music, I like Adele.
Meet the agent.
But
That's
I don't
great.
really know who I'm like. I don't really sort of understand music too much, but I like Adele as a singer.
Yeah.
But I like sort of all sort of musics.
Yeah, but you're kind of somehow syncing a bit with her vibe. She's very dramatic and she's very confident. She's very full of soul. So I'm guessing that's something, that must be.
Every year
part
I've
of
been confident of winning the block, and we got second last year. We won the 2 years prior, so I'm pretty confident of winning again. But you just don't know what can happen on the day. You don't know who the buyers are. They turn up out of the blue, and you don't know what's going to happen. So hopefully we can get a couple of buys this year, and hopefully it gets a good result for the guys.
What do you feel is your kind of superpower, your unique sort of skill that helps you be a really good agent?
Yeah, look, with the block is really a proper look. It's not real estate, in my opinion. It's not the general mum and dad buyers. So in 22, when I first did the block with Oz and Omar in Gisborne, the market was pretty poor. It was a bad market in 22 for the public and the economy. So we went out and started shopping for different sort of buyer types in terms of we're looking for CEOs who Qantas. We went to the MBL CEO. We went to Adrian Portelli. We went to these guys that had money in their back pocket, and we ended up picking 3 or 4 of them in 22, and we got them down to the block. And we ended up having 5 or 6 bidders, where it was back then, and we got a record price for Gisborne, and we've done that every year since we've had the block. Because I don't think this could be a mum or dad buyer, because they're big prices, and the block homes always get more than what they're generally worth. So every year we look for different sort of buyers in that market instead of the normal agent just goes to mum dad buyer. You've got to really step outside your comfort zone with the block and try and get those bigger people. which Adrian was one of them. Danny Walls was another. We had a couple other, you know.
So you brought them in to the block?
Yeah, we brought them into the block. So I think we changed the block in 22 for forever in terms of when we got Adrian and so forth down there. So since before like that year, there was more Danny Wallace and maybe mum or dad buyers, but now there's different buyers. I think it'll happen the same thing this year. I don't think much will change. So that's sort of where the block has changed over the last probably 3 or 4 years since I've been involved.
And have you got Adrian coming? I'm sure everyone's got that question on their
no,
mind.
Adrian's not around this year. I know Adrian quite well. I've done a lot with Adrian over the years. I've sold a few of his properties as well. So Adrian's out this year, unfortunately. Adrian do a lot together. So look, if he comes, but
we saw photos of him with you in the wine cellar for Em and Ben, and I think he got us all hopeful.
I invited him down for a bit of fun. And definitely, the wine cellar is a big thing for us. Me and him, we've got a good relationship with wine since the Gisborne block. So I stole the wine out of the cellar, and Adrian did too. So it was a bit of fun there. But he just came down as a friend and had just a few quiet drinks on the night, and a bit of fun, and that's all it was.
Okay. So no bidding for Adrian on Saturday.
No, I don't believe so. No, he's doing a lot of big things now. So he's probably too busy these days. But look, if he comes down, great, but unlikely he'll be down this year.
We'll all cheer, but there's got to be other big fish that can match Danny, I would hope so.
Well, that's the plan. Will Danny be down this year? He hasn't bought a block home for probably 2 or 3 years either. So, look, there might be some new faces, in the crowd this year. Hopefully there is. With Thirsty Monkey came down last year, so hopefully he'll come back this year again. But you just don't know what can happen on the block. Right.
But getting back to that question about what's your superpower, I'm feeling then that you've got a real ability to kind of, your charisma to kind of draw in these big fish, that even though you said you're a little bit anxious about the weekend, you must have a real confidence and a naturalness that they're feeling very comfortable with you. That must be part of your superpower, I'd say.
Yeah, definitely. Look, I don't know these guys, and look, the hard thing with an auction, it doesn't matter if it's a block auction or a normal auction, you don't know to the day till they put their hand up. So I've got 2 or 3 on my books now that are saying they're going to be bidding on Saturday, but till it happens, you just don't know what can happen with the auction.
Yes,
it's hard. I'm confident, but then you just don't know what will happen on the day.
Yeah, I could see why it must be nerve-wracking for sure. You brought in all of these amazing buyers. Does that kind of give you an inside pick first on who you get to have as a contestant, or how does the dance happen where you end up with Ben and Emma, for example?
Yeah, look, over the years, I've always had Sydney-based, Sydney-based, people on the show. But this year is my second year. I've done it with a Melbourne couple. So Ben and Emma rang me, would have been very early on, and look, I wasn't going to do it, to be honest, at all. And they're a beautiful couple, young couple, just had a baby, as you know. And look, they're Victorian, and my kids, my kids probably would have shot if I didn't do it. So I think this will be my last year on the block this year. So it's a lot of hard work, but look, they're great people. When I met them, I would have done it for sure anyway. But my kids really pushed me this year to do it. So we're pretty happy, and hopefully.
So did you pick them, or did they pick you?
No. With the block, it's like anything. If you're it's like you're selling a home, you can pick whoever you like.
Yeah.
So they reached out to me. They've won it 2 or 3 years previously. So a lot of people know me from the block. So they chose me, and hopefully I can give them a good
Makes
profit
sense.
this year, and a few little bits of money in their back pocket.
Yeah, you've got to be the agent with the most experience out of all of them, I would say, right? For this year at least.
Oh, look, they're all good agents. I like to say that I've done a few, which I have, but look, I do know it pretty well because I've done it for so many years now. But there's always someone up and coming that'll do a few things a little bit different. Hope they copy me a little bit, but hopefully, look, you can't do it forever. But I've done it for a while. Yeah.
You
had a few little heart issues 3-4 months ago, which I overcame. I was in hospital for a couple of weeks, and at one stage I thought I wasn't coming back for 7 or 8 months. So I got back reasonably early, and kept pushing. And look, it's just luck, it's just luck here or there. I've had a few heart issues over the last 8 years, but this time I thought I was in a bit of trouble. But no, all going well, and sort of a little bit of setback in terms of my business. But other than that, it's all pretty good at the moment, and you just got to keep pushing on, don't you?
So, I mean, you've had how many years of experience selling real estate now?
I feel like an old man. I think I've done this for 25 years.
25
REA
years.
says 25 years.
That's a lot. And also given that, you've had the winning houses on the block as part of that, incredible portfolio and experience. So I'm curious, do you start at this point of time thinking, what's the legacy that you're, giving and leaving to the real estate world now? If you're pulling out of the block, do you think about those kind of questions?
Not all, there's no legacy in me. I'm just another salesperson, to be honest. But look, I've got a good little business here in Sunbury. We're turning over, 300 plus sales a year now in our office. So we're going pretty well with my staff. I've got about 20, 25 staff now. So yeah, I can't complain
25.
too much. Yeah, just
Wow.
under 25 staff we've got in 4 years. So, I've got a very good team behind me. That's why I can do the block and a few different things. But my son's 13. I reckon he'll probably jump into real estate when I'm 50. So we'll see what happens. Maybe my son can take over in 5 or 6 years' time.
Yeah, I
Hopefully
bet.
the block's still going and he can do it.
Or is he trying to get on the block? Is he doing videos for that? They're wanting more
Well,
people.
me and my business partner Maren said to each other last year, what do we apply for? It's like, oh, geez, too much hard work, I think, to actually be a contestant. So that's
Yeah.
probably out, I think, at this stage.
Well, let's chat a bit more about Ben and Emma and the block.
Emma and Ben, high school sweethearts, they met at the pool. They look good, she's gorgeous, he's so cool. They moved in together, built the dream home, had their first son. All that's left is to win the block. Beyond beige, I'm so
What are they like then as a couple, working with them and knowing them? I mean, are
Yeah,
they
they're
just
good.
like they are on
They're,
TV?
beyond beige.
They're very, very easygoing, very down to earth. They're low to mid 30s now. Just had a little one, as you know, Bailey. So I think their little one's maybe 4 weeks old, maybe now, 4 weeks, 5 weeks. So they're very down to earth. Every time I sort of ask them to help me with something on the block, they do it. Ben's pretty good. They still work, so they still work full time, or Ben does anyway.
Really?
Um,
Wow.
So they're from the Morning Peninsula, so they're still a few hours away from the block if they have to drive up there. But look, they're great. Their designs are, I think, Dalesford. The way Dalesford is, the feel of Dalesford, their home is very similar to what a lot of the homes are in that sort of that suburb, that area. So I think they've done a home that suits Dalesford buyers. So that's a good thing for us on Saturday. The quality of the fixtures and fittings throughout the home, the colour palette, the landscaping. They've pretty much got everything that Dalesford home is. It's good for an Airbnb. It's got those different sort of textures and rooms for people to sort of go to different sort of parts of the home. And they've got the pool, of course, where everyone has that. The driveway, just that sort of Dalesford feel when you walk into the home.
Right. And that hill is amazing. It does have this, very beautiful kind of vibe about it. And then we've got Aaron Hill selling it. I really like that.
Uh, Yeah,
A
well,
nice sort of,
my mum and dad said, was that you? And I said, no, that wasn't me at all. The actual name of the home, so the hills. So that was sort of a little bit. I suppose that wasn't supposed to be. It was nothing to
oh,
do
okay.
with
They
me.
weren't
But
naming it after you?
nah,
Are you sure?
maybe I should actually start saying they did, but I don't think there was anything to do with me at all.
Okay. So they're not naming it, and Bailey's not got Aaron as a second name. They haven't named their son after you or anything.
No. I did say, they could call the little one Aaron if they wanted to, but it wasn't going to happen either.
Yeah. So how would they describe you? I mean, we've talked a bit about what they're like, and I mean,
Oh,
they just
geez.
do seem so chilled. What do you think they'd say about you?
Look, I'm sure as I've done it so many times. I think it's sort of, I don't know what they'll say. Hopefully they're happy, and we had a big night the other night, a VIP night. So, well, I think they're happy. I hope they're happy. But we'll find out a little bit more on Saturday if they love me or not. If we get a good price for them, but look, they're so mellow. They're just so mellow. They're very just relaxed, and whatever happens. They did say though to me, a few weeks back. They said, look, Aaron, they don't care about the money aspect. They care about what they've done, their experiences. That's what they want to do. But they're not there for money. They're there just to do the experience of doing a renovation together and having some fun along the way. So they weren't there
Right.
was a lot of contestants just money. They're there for themselves just to have a good experience, which is what I love.
So are you confident of perhaps winning this year? Or is this anxiety just,
Look, I'm
being very humble as well?
Look, I'm never confident of doing anything. Look, I'm confident that we've done our best we possibly can. We're confident that we've pushed as hard as we can with my team. And I'm very confident that Ben and Emma have done the best job they possibly can. So, there's some beautiful homes on the block this year. There's some, they're all lovely, and they're all great contestants.
They are. They are really
funny
great.
characters, but this year, all the contestants are great people. So, it's going to come down to the style and what buyers think. It's nothing we can do any extra now.
Right. But I like that. That's very real and very humble. And it's quite different to kind of the stereotype you have of sales agents being very much like, oh, it's the best and yeah, we're going to win. And you're quite different to that, which is refreshing and nice. We've just done our best.
If you asked me 20 years ago, I would have said we're going to win for sure. But you've just got to be honest and upfront and look, they're all great contestants. They're all great homes. They're all great agents. It's just a matter of what the buyers think now, and hopefully we can get up there and we can get a little bit of money in their back pocket for Ben and Emma. I did try and sell it before auction this year, but they wouldn't let me.
So have you been pushing the whole wine cellar? I mean, that is a really interesting and a great design feature.
I think it's there's a couple of homes on the block that have got wine cellars now, but I think we've got the best wine. I shouldn't say the best one, but our one is great, unique. Sit down and it's got lots of little features where it can go onto the pool area. It's just sort of outside that sort of outside space. So yeah, it's a bit of it was a bit of a gamble for the contestants, but I reckon they've done well and it's paid off. They were going to do that from day one, which they didn't want to talk about too much, and so they didn't really copy anyone. They were doing it from day one. It's just
exactly.
The boys were doing one from the start, and they sort of announced it one way after Ben and Emma were already doing it. So, but Ben and Emma are very humble. They just wanted to do their own thing and not just worry about themselves. So it's a great home, and every time we go into it, I like it more and more. So,
that's the sign of it.
Saturday now.
Yeah. So you must have some incredible stories then from all of those years.
The biggest auction I've ever had is probably the Adrian Portelli auction, which was the resale of House 5 at the Block 22. That was the two girls in Hampton. That was a $1 reserve price auctions. That was the biggest auction I've sort of been. We had about 216 bids on that, or 216 bidders, I should say, on that property. That was a $1 reserve auction. It was 3.245 million. That was last year. That was the biggest viewed property on realestate.com last year. So that's probably, if you call that the biggest auction I've sort of been a part of, that's probably the biggest auction I've been a part of, which again is Adrian Portelli, of course. But that's probably the biggest one and the most bidders I've had on any property I've ever had in 20 odd years, if you want to call it that property.
Amazing.
Yeah. I feel like an old man doing this job, but I've sold a lot of family and friends' homes over 25 years, and they're probably always my favourites. When you get a good price for your best mate or your cousin or your parents, or they're the ones you really sort of treasure. But look, the block ones, I can remember, in 22 I lost my shoe in the mud at the block when I first got there, and lost a pair of shoes. In 22 with Oz and Omar, and there's been some funny nights with Oz and Omar, especially because they were crazy. Steph and Jan, again, we've had some really good nights, and they're very good friends of mine now. So, they've got, every time they come to Melbourne, we catch up and have dinner. So there's always certain people and certain clients you always keep. I'll look at my auctioneer this year, which is, his name's Milo. He's probably, in my opinion, one of the best auctioneers in Australia, and he did my block auction for House 3 last year. So, we've got a good auctioneer, and Milo and me know each other about 25 years. He was my first boss in real estate, and now he's doing an auction for me 25 years later. So,
wow,
you meet a lot of good people, bad, good, ugly, whatever you want to call it, over 25 years of real estate, And it's a lot of fun, this job. I don't call this job fun. It's like a sport to me.
It's a sport.
Every day, you get out of bed and you do something different. Real estate's different every single day you do this. And, if it's marketing or it's different things you do, you meet different people, you go to different homes. Nothing's ever the same in real estate.
So, like a sport, do you kind of practice it? Like, do you practice a poker face in the mirror, or how do you prepare for an
No,
auction?
I think it's just you should be yourself every time you get out of bed and you go to work. But I think the longer you do real estate, the more you know what you're doing in terms of negotiation skills and should this be an auction? Probably should this be a private sale property? You just know more, and the longer you're in it, the more people you know, and the more people that trust you. Hopefully, so that's how I look at real estate. To be honest, every day's different. No, I sold my parents' house. Would have been a while ago now, and it's very emotional. When you get people, when you go to walk through people's homes and they've been there for 30 to 50 years, and it doesn't happen very often anymore. So when you go to a home they've been there forever, it just feels a little bit more different. I don't know what that feeling is, but when they've been there for so long and they trust you to sell their home. I had sold one the other day. Would have been a while ago now. It's been, I think, for 100 years. And when you get those sort
Wow.
of properties, you go, wow, they're meaningful sales.
They are,
They're the
they
ones
are.
you love the most. I think anyway, it's me. Yeah, but there's always there's so many things I've played in real estate for 25 years. There's so many different things have happened. We sold a racetrack now. We've sold so many different properties. We had a property in Pascal nearly 20 years ago, where the reserve was 1 point. What was it? It was 2.1, sorry, and it sold for 3.6. And you go, sometimes you can't value property either. Sometimes it's just crazy what things go for. But half the time we're never right. When we value a home, we're never right. There's always something that happens, and that's what happens sometimes with property. I've had that many sales over that many years. I can't give you one or two stories, to be honest.
That's all right. It's all become a bit of a blur, it seems,
It is.
understandably.
It's been a lot. I've had a vendor I've sold for 5 times now in 25 years. So, they keep coming back to me 5 times. I've sold the same home 4 times as well in Essendon. I've sold one home 4 times in 25 years as well. So it keeps coming.
So, what's left for you in your career now? I mean, just keep on doing it because you love it, or have you got
No,
something, a goal?
yeah, look, I think in 2 or 3 years I'll probably step back a little bit, and hopefully my team. I've got a very good team here, and a lot of young guys that are very, very good at what they do. And I think the next part is for them. They're the ones that are going to be showing their face and selling 150 homes. A year. I think I did 130 last year, but I'll go backwards and hopefully sell not as many. And my guys here will be sort of doing a lot more. So that's my next phase in real estate. I'd like them to sort of get ahead of me. Got
I
a young
like
guy,
that.
Josh, here now. That's a machine that'll probably be ahead of me in a couple of years' time. Like he's going to be an elite agent this year for Ray White, and he'll get to chairman eventually. So I've got 2 or 3 of the guys here that'll get in the next 2 or 3 years. They'll be definitely above what I'm doing. Hopefully.
Fantastic. So, we'll see them on the
Yeah.
block instead of you, I guess.
Or young Jamie actually said to me today, or yesterday, he said to me, Aaron, are you going to do the block next? And I said, probably not. And Jamie goes, why not? Can I do it? I said, well, do you want to do it? You get the call, you can definitely do it. But, Jamie would like to do it again next year, but I think I'm sort of out next year, to be honest.
Right. Oh, I'm glad I've got you to interview this year then, if it's maybe your last. That's kind of special. And then someone else might fill your shoes, literally even in the mud. Tell me, did you get your shoe back? I kind of still got
No,
this
we
story.
I never got that shoe back, to be honest, and I don't think I wanted to pick it out of the mud. I had some proper work shoes in my car, which we're supposed to wear at the block every time we go there. So I put them straight on with muddy socks, and that was a bit of fun back then.
Ah, okay. Well, that's good. You had backup. So that must be one of your tips then for your agents that you're handing over to. Are you asked a million times a week what is the most important thing that you would pass on to them?
In real estate, you just got to be driven. You got to have a good drive behind you. If you're lazy, or it doesn't matter what job you do. If you're lazy, you're not going to go anywhere in life. So I think you just have to be driven in real estate. Work as hard as you can. The hours, you've got to do the hours when you start. Like if you're a young guy, I'm in the office 7:30 every morning. I know that not many people do that, but I'm still doing it. And get home late. It's just what you do at the start of your career, and you've got to push hard. And it doesn't matter if it's real estate or bakery or whatever the job you've got. I think you just got to be passionate about it and be driven about it. And look, you'll get there in the end. And I'm still not there, but I'm still pushing and learning and getting better. And that's the way I look at life.
I'm amazed though that you say you're still not there. I mean, you seem such a huge success. That's really something. But yeah, you're obviously still working so hard. I guess that's what it's about.
Look, I think successful is the team around you've got around you. Yeah, it's not me, it's a team I've got. Look, Maddie this year, my EA, she's probably the heart and soul of the block, house one this year. She's done all the work, all the background work, which I can't do. And, if it wasn't for her, I'd probably be in a lot more trouble. So I think success in life and real estate is people around you. My business partner runs the office. He allows me to go do the block every year. The admin staff around me probably do more than I do around, getting the brochures up, organising the boards up and organising the VIP night for Ben and Emma. And they're the people who really do the hard work. I'm just the face of it at the moment, and I'm lucky I've got a good team around me.
What happens over the next few days leading up to that big, all-important auction moment?
Yeah, so as of today, I've started to try and get my bidders in line. Like I've got to register these bidders. I've got 2 or 3 that I'm going to try and register by the end of the week. I need to register these guys by probably Thursday. So the next 3 or 4 days is getting those guys on paper to say they're going to be bidding. On Thursday, I'll probably be up at the block in Davisford to get the reserves. So we get the reserve prices on the Thursday, Friday. So I'll be up there doing that on Thursday, and then really just focusing again on Friday about making sure, we've got the time for the auction on Thursday. So making sure my bidders are there on time and, making sure they've got their big wallets, I suppose, to put their hand up for the most amount of money. So that's the week. It sort of hasn't changed. I'm glad I've done it before because I know the other agents we probably go what's going on, but it is a lot to do. But look, hopefully we can get 2 or 3 bidders and we get some people that can pay a little bit more than what the owners want or what the Channel 9 wants, so we can get a bit of money in the back pocket for Ben and Emma.
What is your big strategy then for Saturday?
I think you just have to be driven in real estate. Work as hard as you can. The hours, you've got to do the hours when you start. Like if you're a young guy, I'm in the office 7:30 every morning. I know that not many people do that, but I'm still doing it. And get home late. It's just what you do at the start of your career, and you've got to the auction order is going to come down to the auction order on Saturday. We know where we want to be. We're not going to say anything too much now, but we know where we need to be. We know what number we want. So we'll see what happens on Thursday. But look, just getting those buyers in the door and standing in different spots in the crowd. We've done every year, and making sure they've got the support to put their hand up. Really, it's very simple.
And how are they going with it? I mean, obviously they're always very positive and friendly, but I mean, do you notice them feeling the nerve?
No,
at difficult time?
Well, they've done this for the experience. If they get a little bit of money in their back pocket, they're even happier. But they've done it for the experience. They'll never forget it, of course, and that's how they look at it. So they've already won.
Meet me at the waterfall.
I really wish you all the best, to you and to Ben and Emma.
It's the girl who had it all. It's the girl who's won. It's Emma.
Thank you too for joining me, Aaron.
And now there's 2 of them, Emma and Ben, living their dreams. You know what I mean? Beyond beige.
Thanks everyone for joining us on our debut of Meet the Agent podcast. I'm Wendy Clare from Jeuje Interiors. Stay tuned for more episodes coming up as we meet more rock stars of real estate.
First baby boy, and now there's 3 of them. Emma and Ben.